Fated glory. The Arctic standoff. The Leviathan awakens. The icy waters of the Arctic trembled as the massive Russian unmanned submersible codenamed Poseidon slipped beneath the waves. Nearly 200 feet long and shaped like a torpedo the size of a submarine, the Poseidon carried a terrifying payload, a 100-megaton nuclear warhead, the largest ever designed. Its sleek black hull-absorbed sonar and AI navigation system allowed it to operate autonomously, evading detection and striking targets thousands of miles away. Deep inside the Kremlin's Situation Room, Admiral Vasily Ivanov stood before the large screen displaying Poseidon's path. A red line curved beneath the Arctic ice sheet, showing its trajectory toward an undisclosed NATO target. Defense Minister Nikolai Petrov tapped his pen against the polished mahogany table. Petrov. Admiral, you're certain this weapon is undetectable? Ivanov. Beyond certain, Minister. NATO's sonar nets can't track it, and its nuclear propulsion system generates almost no noise. If it reaches the Atlantic, civilization as they know it will end. Petrov. Then let them know we're serious. Leak the information, but keep specifics classified. Fear will do our work for us. NATO in Crisis Secretary General James Mitchell slammed his hand on the table at NATO headquarters in Brussels. Mitchell. 100 megatons? That's Tsar Bomba-level devastation multiplied by 5. If they deploy this thing, it could trigger a nuclear winter. Finnish Prime Minister Henrik Lehn, recently inducted into NATO, leaned forward. Lehn. Russia thinks their Arctic bases are untouchable, but Murmansk is the key. Take Murmansk, and we cut off their northern fleet and their ballistic missile submarines. Swiss Defense Minister Katja Müller. Switzerland's neutrality has shielded us for centuries, but even we can't ignore this threat. We'll grant full logistical support for operations if it means neutralizing this madness. Mitchell. Finland and Switzerland will be crucial. Finland can strike from the border, and Switzerland's advanced tunneling expertise can move supplies under the radar. But we'll need boots on the ground, and fast. The assault on Murmansk. The Arctic winds howled as NATO Special Forces, led by Commander Carlos, moved through the dense snowdrifts near Murmansk. The operation, codenamed Icebreaker, aimed to secure the naval base before the Russians could deploy the Poseidon. Carlos, adjusting his snow camouflage. Raven, what is the status of the drones? Raven, over comms. Eyes in the sky confirm minimal movement at the docks. Looks like they're keeping the submarines locked down due to the storm. Carlos. Perfect. Bowman set charges on the dry docks. I want those submarines crippled before they even think about launching. Bowman. Copy that. Setting charges. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. Russian guards, bundled in white winter gear, spotted the team. Carlos hit the ground, returning fire. Carlos. They're on to us. Raven, we need backup. Raven. Sending in the recon drone swarm. Hold position. Dozens of miniature drones with EMP charges darted through the storm, turning off Russian surveillance systems and vehicles. Within moments, the firefight shifted in NATO's favor. The capture of the Leviathan Raven infiltrated the submarine control center as the battle raged, her gloved fingers dancing over the terminals. Raven. I'm in. Uploading a virus to shut down the AI controls. Victor Sharp. Over comms. Hurry it up, Raven. We just intercepted a message. Moscow authorized a launch sequence. Sweat beaded Raven's forehead. Raven. Almost there. The screens flickered, then went dark. Raven. The Poseidon is neutralized. Carlos, over comms. Confirmed. Bring it back to base. The NATO fleet moved in to tow the unmanned submarine into international waters, where it could be dismantled and studied. Fallout and strategy. Back in Brussels, Mitchell stood before the gathered leaders. Mitchell. Murmansk is ours. With the Northern Fleet crippled and their ballistic missile systems under NATO control, Russia has lost its strategic advantage. Lane. And Poseidon? Mitchell. Under NATO supervision, we'll analyze it, reverse engineer its systems, and develop countermeasures. But make no mistake, this was just the opening move. Russia won't stay down for long. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. The architect's response, far away, in a hidden bunker beneath the Urals. The architect, leader of the global union, watched the developments with steely eyes. The architect. So, NATO thinks they've won. His aide stepped forward nervously. Aide, the capture of Murmansk will embolden their forces, sir. The architect. Let them celebrate. They've only delayed the inevitable. Inform our allies in China to accelerate the timetable. The Arctic may be lost, but the Pacific is still ours. The architect turned to the holographic map displaying Taiwan and the South China Sea. The architect, we'll drown them in fire and steel. Epilogue. The rising storm. The world teetered on the brink as NATO forces consolidated their hold on the Arctic. The Poseidon had been captured, but its existence had shattered the fragile balance of power. Now, the race to develop even more devastating technologies has begun. And in the shadows, the architect's plans unfolded, preparing the world for a conflict that would reshape humanity's future.